Respected and treasured in his constituency, Honorable Abbott George Ouma is the veteran teacher and a people's man. He hails from Namayingo district. Born in 1964, Abbott George attained his professional qualification in education from Kyambogo University in 1999. He is the Member of Parliament for Bukolli Island County under NRM Party. He also holds other positions in Parliament which include Chairperson, Committee on East African Community Affairs and Committee Member on Rules, Privileges and Discipline. Before joining Parliament, Honorable Abbott George was the Secretary for Education and Health, Bugiri District Local Council 2006 to 2010. District Treasurer, National Resistance Movement, Bugiri 2005 to 2006. Vice Chairperson, Bugiri District Local Government 2001 to 2006. He also served as Secretary for Education and Sports, Bugiri District Local Government 1998 to 2001. General Secretary LC3, Siglu Sub-County, Bugiri District 1996 to 1997. A teacher, Sigulu Island Primary School 1990 to 1999. And General Secretary LC3, Siglu East Parish, Bugiri District 1989 to 1995. The constituency he represents, Bukolli Island County, is located in Namayingo District, Eastern Uganda. Its population is 28,680, the majority of whom are fishermongers. Bukolli consists of islands. These islands have 9 primary schools and only 1 secondary school. Today, we host Honorable Abbott George Ouma to answer questions asked by the people of Bukolli Islands County. Welcome to Ask Your MP. My name is Oluka Jamila and you're watching UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. Today we are hosting Honorable Abbott George Ouma all the way from Bukolli Islands. And if we remember very well, in the beginning of this year we were in Bukolli Islands and Sigulu Islands. We had gone there to let the people ask the questions.
Sasa watoto watapata nini? Hii ya vitu ya shule watapata. Ni wanaleta yako watoto wengine huko kwa bushe. Wanaleta kama vitu hii kitabu na bairo pia wataleta huko.
Mugombola lino bukana. Alina masomero aga government aided galiana. Sini ate tunabeera nayo. Tunafuna. Abana bamala primary abamwera bafuluma bweru abasomekeza bweru mu district endala nga district ya Busia, district ya Bugiri, abamu bagenda Tororo, Olusi Jinja. Webati olwokubana secondary tetukyalina. Grade eno grade 1 eno tetunava kujiwulirako oba kugirabako mugundi mugombola lino. Netulowooza nti bwanaleta ajja kukwata kuki ku byensoma alabe nti standard eyimukako. Ekibuuzo kyenjo mubuuza kyekikwatagana n'ensoma kubanga ensoma kyekintu ekisinga obukulu. Ensoma lwaki amasomero gano tetunafuna kulabika nti tufunako secondary. Ekyakubiri primary eno lwaki nga yo improving ako kulaba nti naffe tusobola okulaba nti tufuna ku baana abayinza okufuna grade ey'okubiri, grade esooka ne drop out kino nezigaana okubeera ennyingi.
Ask the Member of Parliament, one, how should we do? Now a school like this one, we don't have enough classrooms. I ask him, when shall we have enough classroom in this place? And also in other places, some students, pupils move longer distances. So we need other the schools to be constructed. Then in every sub-county, we expect to have at least a secondary school. Now a place like this one in school, we only have one secondary school, yet we have got a number of sub-counties. So we ask the Member of Parliament, please, to help us to see that he lobby for more secondary schools. I know we shall reach there. Now, number 3, how can we help the parents to improve economically? Because it is a very big challenge. Parents are very poor. They need support. Now, what should we do to help the parents so that the parents to improve economically so that they can help the pupils to have the requirements, to have uniform, and to have other things?
Textbooks are not enough.
Yes.
That it needs to help us.
I want a ball for children.
A ball for children.
Yeah.
As you notice, most of them cannot express themselves using English. So that already speaks a lot of volumes, especially in a school that is supposed to be providing education to children. So you've heard, we asked them from their own perspective. They have mentioned that the teachers lack housing, they lack desks, they lack a lot of things that would facilitate their education. I'm just imagining a child from Kampala has everything, but here, look at these children. They are just like any other child, and we expect them to become doctors, to become pilots, and to become people who will be of value to this country.
We lay our future in thy hand, united faithfully, battle together with all.
Thank you.
Twafunyeyo ne feri, bali kukola feri awo gundi agenda kutambuzanga abantu okubajja kuno kubatwala mu bizinge bya waggulu okubakomyawo kubekonya wali e Kenya.
Kati MP waffe tumwagala nnyo olw'okuba ebirungi byatukoledde tulaba nga bingi nnyo awaffe wano e Bukaana. MP akoze ebirungi lwakuba kuva agende mu Parliament tulabangako ekibi kyonna. Ebibi byonna ebibaddeyo byonna biweddewo, kati saawa tuli mu kwewolera emirimu tuli bulungi.
Ebyokusoma birimu okusomoozebwa kungi naddala ku saidi y'abaana abawala. Abaana baffe abawala tebali kusoma, naye mu manifestos ennene manifesto y'NRM gye bampa President atusuubiza okutuwa essomero ly'abaana abawala babasimbire kusinga kuno basobole ku improving esoma yaabwe, naye esoma yaabwe eri waasi nnyo. So saba ekintu ekyo nakyo honorable waffe owa Parliament tuyambeko ebyokusoma bibeere nga bibeeramu okw'amaanyi ku saidi y'abaana abawala. Bwe banaabeera ne boarding school tusuubira tuti bayinza okusomako okusinga nga bwe bali kati, naye saawa zino ebyokusoma saidi y'abaana abawala teri bulungi. So ku kintu ekyo okusaba honorable tutekeremu okw'amaanyi, n'abavubuka tebali bulungi. Wantaddeko saako kuba envuba nayo President agitaddemu omukono. Singa tufunako saako nga tugiyita Bukaana Youth Association, ekyo nakyo kiyinza otuyambako ne tubeera nga tuteekayo ne twewola omuntu n'agendako mu bizinesi endala ne tubeerako bulungi.
It's always good to follow up on the issues, because the issues we found there were really a lot of issues, and we needed again to engage with a Member of Parliament. So Honorable, you're most welcome to our program. Once again, you're on air with us.
Thank you.
Yes. So today basically, I'm not going to follow what questions people ask, but we are going to follow up on issues that the people asked, and you had promised that you would make sure that you deliver them. And one of the issues that I want to ask you is, how have you performed from the time we were there last year to this year? Because the issues that you talked about was the issue of the ferry, the issue of improving the education, the issue of increasing the boats. So you could you tell us more on how you've performed on those issues?
Thank you very much, member. Just as I stated the other time, the issues of the islands are very peculiar. And when His Excellency the President was campaigning, so many issues came up. And one of them was transport. Our people are dying in the waters, pregnant mothers produce as they move to the mainland within the ports. So I'm happy to announce that this year, one of the biggest ferries and the most modern has been completed and it is going to be delivered very soon to us. That ferry is called MV Sigulu. It was constructed in Jinja, Masese. It is complete, but it is still going under test. As you know, scientifically it must be tested, sit fit for the waters. Then I think September we are going to have a joyous moment in the islands when our ferry is going to be delivered to us. So that one is an achievement which I think we must appreciate and we must congratulate the government. Another issue that came up was about health. There is a book that was published to us by Human Rights, and it says in Bukole Islands, if you are not rich, you die. That is the title of the book. Simply because we didn't have health centers. If we had them, they were health center tools without staff. If they are there, then sometimes they are not qualified to do so. But I'm also happy to announce that the government is constructing a health center 3 in one of the islands called Lolwe. Lolwe is very far away from the mainland. It takes us 2 hours. So government is constructing, and I think by September the construction will be complete. It is also a nice one. I was there some few days ago and I saw construction taking place. So I think the problem of health in Lolwe will also be something that will be complete. Then I'm also happy to announce that even today as we talk, they are going to construct another health center 3 in one of the islands called Bukana Island, where the ferry is going to dock as it moves to Sigulu, then to Lolwe. So the issue of health, I think we are a little bit moving okay.
What about, Honorable, the issue of transportation? Because from our own experience, when we're in Bukole Islands and then Sigulu Islands, we realized that the issue of transport is a very big issue. I'm just imagining if a mother got into labor in the night, how will they reach the medical facility?
Yeah, it is a big problem. Although we have a boat that was given to us by UNFPA, and that boat is stationed in Sigulu, but it cannot do all. And I'm happy because the Speaker of Parliament has been our champion in this, and we have tasked the ministry concerned, the Special Minister for Health, to make sure that they deliver the boats, which we call them yachts, but we should now call them ambulances, the waters. Although they were saying they are very expensive, but I think it is an agreed opinion that they are going to give us those boats so that mothers can be helped. But along all of that, I think I've also done my part, because I have put a boat in Lolwe with the horsepower of engine 15, so that when there is a problem, the mother wants to deliver, there is another complication, automatically that boat can now make them come to Sigulu or come to Namaingo mainland where there is health center 4. I've also put another boat in Sigulu itself and even Bukana Islands. And I've also to mention that last month I took other 2 engines to Lolwe, and I think when they will be operational, I think this issue is going to be helpful. But along all of that, the ministries, they are responsible, the ministry, to make sure that people get health services, and the ministry must provide the islanders, not only Bukole Islands, but Buvuma, Kalanga and other areas, what we call water ambulances.
As you see, I'm in the boat, but honestly, I'm scared right now. I don't have a life jacket, and I'm here in Namaingo district, which happens to have many islands. There is Sigulu Island, there is Bukana Islands, there is Hama Island, all these islands, and Silolwe, all these islands. This is the means of transport that they use to connect to the other island. We've just come from Sigulu Island and we are going back to Bukana Island. But I tell you what, this is a means of transport which children used to go to school, mothers use when they are about to give birth, because when you go to Sigulu Island, that's where Health Center 3 is. This other island does not have Health Center 3. So imagine, this is the life of a mother going to give birth. This is a life of what children here face. And here we are letting that for ask the Member of Parliament, what have you done? There is a bill right now in Parliament where Honorable Abbott George Ouma of this particular island has tabled in Parliament about education and means of transport. However, the good news is government is trying to put here a ferry, but it has not yet arrived here. But it's going to be one of the biggest ferries in East Africa, a capacity of 300 people, 30 vehicles, and that is what is going to happen in this particular. But for us as Ask Your MP, we let the people ask the questions, and once we come back to studio, we will make sure that the Member of Parliament answers those questions. Keep watching UBC TV. So, Honorable, you've talked about transport and what, but there is also another issue. I remember last time when I invited you on TV, again here, we had talked about the crocodiles, which is a very, very big issue, and it's, you know, when crocodiles keep swallowing people, it becomes a national concern. And you as a legislator, I remember you were with Honorable Ntende Robert, and you had talked about how you're going to make sure that the government responds to this. So what have you done so far? Could you tell us more on
one of the issues that when I came to Parliament, I first raised was about the crocodiles finishing our people, finishing school children, finishing women, finishing fishermen. And I even mentioned before the floor of Parliament that from 1986 to date, in Bukolé Island, over 200 people have been killed. And I was also going to be victim when I was young, around 76. The crocodile just snatched a saucepan when I was going to the lake to fetch water, and I survived like that. So it is a very big concern. But I'm also happy to mention that the Minister for Tourism and Wildlife, Professor Ibrahim Kamuntu, was tasked by the President to go to Bukolé Islands. He went up to Lolwe, he went up to Sugulu, then other parts of the areas that are also with such a menace. So the Minister did promise that they are going to construct what they call cages. Cages is something that is constructed in certain distance so that people can go and fetch water. It is something like a fence in the waters.
Yeah, and it protects people from the crocodile.
When the crocodile see a fence, it will not come. When I went the other time when I went out to Israel, these are some of the issues, the things they're using. So I'm also happy to announce that the minister started constructing, and they've constructed one in Lolwe, a place called Mwagoda. And when I went there, people are very happy, even if it's not up to the standard. But I think half a loaf is better than nothing.
Yeah, but that is only one island. What about other islands?
Yeah. You know, budget constraints, but it is something that was supposed to be as a pilot. And I think the ministry told me that they have secured enough funds. They are going to move to Lolwe, they are going to move to Sugulu, and other parts like places called Yeve and Wisa, so that our people are free from that menace.
Most times, we voters, we citizens of Uganda, we want to know what have you done in terms of legislation, not just, you know, going to the constituency to do what you've already done, but in terms of promoting those laws that support us, citizens of Uganda.
First of all, as I told you, I come from a place that is almost East Africa. All languages are there. You have people talking Kenyan languages, they speak Kenyan languages, but they are not Kenyans. We also, Tanzanians are there and other people. Now the issue that has been affecting us as islanders is one, people who come to work within us, they don't understand. Why do you talk Luo when you say you are a Ugandan? Why do you talk Loya when you say you are Ugandan? I've been trying to explain these things, that these people don't talk these languages because they want, but sleeping sickness made our people to run away to Kenya. And when it came to 1956, they came back after marrying those people and also after being assimilated and speaking these languages. Now, I think last year it was something very important that I brought before the floor of Parliament, that why should people now be discriminated because the language they speak? And I have brought it before Parliament here, and I think it is something that's going to that we must have a language that is called Lusigulu, a language for civilians, so that you don't say that I'm a Luya, I'm a Luo, but automatically you are pronounced as a civilian. And I think other parts of Uganda, they also brought such thing because there are people who are also affected like that. I think they have also another tribe that is having that problem. So I think that legislation is important, and as we are waiting for it, we have already discussed it, and I think whatever is happening must go to the President to assent so that it becomes a law. So that is important. If we go to that one, it will be a milestone for our people of the island. Then secondly, the issue of the lake is something that is important. Our people are being denied the opportunity to use the lake simply because they are using illegal gears. But you know, the laws that are used in the lake today, these are very old laws. They have what they call the Crocodile Acts. Sometimes they say that when the crocodile has killed you, they don't kill the crocodile because now the crocodile is more useful than you, because it attracts tourists. So we are now coming up with the law, and even yesterday it was before the law parliament, and we are pushed for it. And I would say part of it, my suggestion was that because it is the responsibility of the government to protect the people, should the crocodile kill, maim, or destroy someone, automatically the government must be responsible to compensate. In Kenya, automatically when a crocodile kills someone, the family must be compensated. When a crocodile maims someone, that person must be compensated. So the compensation law is also part that I've been pushing to make sure that that legislation comes into effect. I've also brought in this parliament that because of our peculiar needs, especially, why should we be taken as people who are from the island, from the mainland, because these people can be reached. So I'm also trying to bring a legislation. One, that because we have special programs for Karamoja, special programs for Bunyoro, why shouldn't we have a special program for the islands? We want special programs for our people. Our people must have special programs. They are so peculiar, they are so unique, they are not like people from the mainland. So that's what I'm saying, is that legislation is going to help us as people from the islands.
CNET Uganda is responsible for distributing the Dicto signal to Ugandans. We are currently activating all upcountry sites to boost our coverage. Jinja, Mbara, Masaka, Hoima, Soroti and Bale, and now on. Our viewers in those areas are advised to use your free-to-air decoders to pick the signal. CNET Uganda, your sole signal distributor countrywide.
The last time we went to Siglo Islands and Ben Bukole Islands, you were still the vice chairperson for East African Community Affairs Committee here in Parliament. But today we realized that you've been promoted to chairman, and I would like you to tell us more on how you have contributed to East African integration.
You see, East African integration or community automatically moves on 4 pillars, and one of these pillars is that customs union. And when I was vice chairperson, and now I'm the chairperson, we have tried, and I think it is now better, what we call now customs union. When you go to Busia, you go to Malawi, there's what they call one-stop border post. One-stop border post automatically would mean that you are going to have officials from Kenya, officials from Uganda, or officials from Tanzania under one roof. So that what they do automatically will only take few minutes to make sure that a person is cleared. I think that is an achievement which is very big, and you remember the other time when President Uhuru Kenyatta and President Yoweri Museveni went to Busia to launch that one-stop border post. So people are saying they can appreciate that one. But then the second pillar is the common market. The common market still has challenges. I must agree.
That's what I was about to ask you. That
I must agree that there are so many challenges. But the English people say that leadership without problems is like a school without lessons. So we also have lessons to learn. But I would say that one pillar is that there must be a common market. We must make sure that our goods, people move freely. People move freely, they can move their goods. But still we have so many challenges simply because some of our laws in Uganda, laws in Kenya, have not been harmonized. The other time when I was in Arusha, I took a committee to Arusha, and one of our issues to the Iyala speaker was that why can't we have laws which are harmonized? And they told us, we have sent a number of laws to be harmonized in your countries. And I think of recent, or very soon, we are going to meet as all committees of East African parliaments to make sure that we look at laws which have not been harmonized. Take, for example, you see, there are so many laws. Uganda still is relaxed about the Kavera.
Yes.
But Kenya it is stopped, Tanzania it is stopped. And Rwanda too. So if you have laws which are conflicting, automatically you are going to have problems. Then when you have that, I'm told the other time, the Kenyans have stopped this charcoal burning, but now they still even import it from Uganda to their country. So it is something that is challenging, and that's what I would say that another pillar is that monetary union.
Yes.
We are dreaming that we must have one currency. We are dreaming that we have a currency that is going to be used within the region. But still, this one is also a very big challenge. But we are told that we are almost moving towards, there is already light towards the end of the tunnel, and that now remains with the heads of states when they are meeting their summit to make sure that they now fulfill this one. And then lastly is what they call political federation. Political federation is also facing challenges because of the term that we must have now one president for the 6 countries. One president for the 6 countries. Now the terms are now coming in that now we should have what is called political confederation. So these terms are now trying to make people not understand them better. But I think one of the issues is that...
but Honorable, do you think enough sensitization has been done as well?
That's the issue I was coming to. We have increased our budget to almost around 700 million automatically in this parliament to make sure that the ministry must sensitize our people. When I'm talking about the common market, when I'm talking about the customs union, does that common man in Sigulu Island, that common man in Katuna understand it when there are still challenges? When we went to Busia the other time, even some of the goods which are not supposed to be, they are free to move with those goods, but because of the ignorance of our people, still the custom officials arrest these people and they pay some money. So that issue of sensitization is something that's very important. We must sensitize the children in schools, we must go sensitize the public, and we are now saying we must move district by district, and I think the ministry is doing that.
And Honorable, on that very note, there is one issue that I think that one you must have left out, but it's one of the most important issues, according to me, who is a Ugandan, and sometimes when you go to Kenya or Tanzania, there is one element that really makes us not feel the East African community integration, and that is the language. One language. And what have you done in terms of that, especially the Swahili language?
It is a big shame. Our constitution also says that Kiswahili is also one of our official languages that must be used here, even in parliament. But they say when parliament deems it necessary, automatically the parliament can legislate to make sure it is used. And one thing, when I went to Tanzania, which I was very happy about, the Tanzanians don't ask which tribe are you. The Tanzanians have a unifying language. I think Mwalimu Julius Nyerere must be appreciated for this one. That I was asking them, but you all speak Kiswahili. Don't you have your tribe? You say, here the issue of the tribe is something that, but you see even now in our, when you look at our ID cards,
yes.
When you are going there to get those ID cards, one of the issues they ask, what is your tribe? I think this is so discriminative. The issue of asking people your tribe is something that is that should be automatically be rushed into our minds. And when you go to Kenya, the same thing. The Kenyan parliament, they use English and what? And Kiswahili. So it is a challenge, a very big challenge to us. And Uganda is also moving, because I'm now seeing schools teach Kiswahili, and I think that is going to make us understand ourselves. But the issue of the tribes, the issue of language is quite something that is a little bit challenging us as people of Uganda. But with me as chairperson of the East African Community Affairs, I must make sure that Kiswahili languages must be taught in schools. And then we are trying to push it even in parliament. We must do, but somebody will say,
how are you going to make sure that it's going to be pushed in? What strategies, what modules are you going to use to make sure that it goes to the grassroots?
Yeah. First of all, you should know that when around 2000, the issue of Uganda was that we didn't have enough teachers to teach Kiswahili in schools. You go to those schools along the borders. You go to all those secondary schools. Children are now doing Kiswahili in O level. They are doing Kiswahili in A level, up to the university. So the issue is to make sure that Kiswahili is taught in schools, because people from schools, that is where the beginning is, because you cannot begin coming to parliament to begin teaching people what Kiswahili. I see them, when you greet them, Habari, somebody will take time to know what is Habari. And people only understand the Kiswahili that it was supposed to be used by the policemen and then the army men, or some people from northern Uganda. And that is so discriminating. So the issue is The other time I was seeing that people were attempting to remove Kiswahili from the syllabus. And we became very serious about it. We said, no, Kiswahili cannot be removed from the syllabus. It must be there, it must remain there, because we are going towards one East Africa.
Well, that is wonderful. But maybe probably you should try to make it a point that it becomes a compulsory language, because it's really a big issue. We had talked about health issues, but I'm just looking at how have you helped the women in terms of lifting up their income generating capitals.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is a very big challenge, and one of the challenges we have is that men go, they like fish, they are arrested, they are taken to prisons, their boats destroyed, then women remain languishing. Now, it is a very big burden on my side. I think I've even written to His Excellency the President, including the Prime Minister, who's the leader of government business. One of the issues that we are having here is that the issue of smoked fish. Our women normally deal with smoked fish. That fish that cannot be taken to the market, automatically it is smoked, then they can take it to the local market. And the government, through the operations, the waters, have stopped them from smoking fish. Now, what have I done as a member of parliament? I'll put these women into groups. The other time when I was in Lolwe, Island Sub-County, I asked myself, why should women continue singing, dancing for me when automatically they leave me, they are very poor. Now, each women group that was singing for us, we have them women groups for dancing and singing. They have their talent.
And then like the women, when we went to Sigulu, those women who kept dancing.
There is a woman called Fuwa in Lolwe. That one is talented. So I had 10 groups in Lolwe, and each group they have around 20 to 30. I gave them 2 cows each. 2 cows each. And I told them, can you begin from here? So that you have yourself something that can be do when this animal will produce, you can take this one. And I'm also planning to make sure I continue doing that one for them. Then I've also looked at the widows. They are there. I'm taking, the widows told me what can help us most. People normally, we don't have chairs, we don't have tents. So can you buy for us chairs and tents so that when somebody has a ceremony or somebody has died, we can hire these things out. As I'm going to Bukana, I'm taking over 400 chairs and tents to these widows. I'm going to give them, I'm going to hand over to them. Other groups, I'm also going to give them saucepans so that they can continue doing that one.
Of water, of the school, of health, this will come. The most important thing that is left in Uganda now is to eradicate poverty.
Mbwe, nuwe unja Uganda namba. Buli sindu siyolere na yakudongere ne sindu sitia, sindu silala. Nga kunyala kwa malao, obuavu, mumbadala kefwe.
The issue of school, the use of roads, the issue of electricity, we are handling.
Arubo lambo ebindu bidilana hubya husoma, ebindu byengira, ebindu byobutamu, ebindu bya masanyalaze, ebyo bya government. Naye omundu wa bulijjo esindu syoletanga esende musawa yao 1000 omutwalo esyo niyo sidongere esyo sirimuli.
I hand over now the animal to these group leaders. There are 2 which the honorable member of parliament has brought for them. Thank you. To Okedakala Women's Group.
Asante sana.
Ndaiga women group.
That is not enough to make sure that we uplift them. What is enough for this time is that of what I have. But the issue is how the government tackles the issue of women in the islands, what I wrote with Excellency. And I said, I think when he's coming to launch the ferry, in my memorandum I'm going to read it, and I've even put a budget for the party of government to make sure that these women should be helped so that they become good women.
That is Gulu Island.
Well, we have the biggest ferry, I think, so far in East Africa, and it's called MV Sigulu. That ferry was built in Jinja, a place called Masese. That is where the construction started place until it was complete. By this time, it is very complete. First of all, there are 2 things. One was to make it go into the water, and then the second step was to test it in those deeper waters. It has been moving to other parts of Lake Victoria. The engineers are moving with it, showing whether it is safe for the people. Then the last step is going to be brought here, and then His Excellency, the President, is going to come here to launch the ferry. So anytime he gives a response, automatically it is going to be here, and the people will be happy when they see it. So you cannot see it here, it is still going through tests, what they call flotation tests, and what also they call the engineers must make sure whether it is going to go through their buoyance, whether it is going to float in the water properly. It is our desire that everybody should have a jacket. But the challenge is, and this is a very big challenge, to everybody, including school children, including mothers, can they afford a life jacket? That is the first important question, and that's what we are discussing in Parliament. Why can't the Parliament, the government, extend these life jackets at the prices we can subsidize to make sure that everybody should be having life jackets. Not all would have life jackets because they are not economically empowered.
Another thing I noticed when we were in Sigulu Islands, it seemed there is a lot of production there. Women produce a lot of children. Because that's one thing that I remember about Sigulu Islands. Almost every woman was carrying a baby.
I was in Buganda for burial and I asked the chairman 3. This is terrible. Every lady who comes is pregnant. Every lady coming here is pregnant. And it was true, by the way. When you see 3, 2 are pregnant.
Yes, and either someone is carrying a child.
Someone is carrying a child. So, but you know that coupled with the good feeding, that is fish. When you, with us, we say that when you eat the head of fish, it was there in Parliament yesterday, you become a little bit fertile.
Yes.
Yeah, but the issue is, how do we now protect these women, because now even malnutrition is coming in because they are denied the fish they're supposed to eat. So that concern of yours is there, and we must make sure that we look into it so that they can get the services they have. But a woman also, what he needs when the child is sick is their health center. Where can I take my child? Is there something that can transport me to where I'm going? So that to me, my work is to make sure that those services are there, and also to put them in groups to make sure that they have groups.
So, Honorable, from whatever you've talked about right now, I realize that you seem to be pointing out that government has some challenges. Do you want to tell us that the challenges that have faced there is because you have hiccups delivering as a member of parliament, or is it that the government is not doing enough?
You see, when the government of Uganda was taking the issue that is called affirmative action,
yes,
the government forgot one important thing, that there must be affirmative action for the islanders. You can go to Buvuma, you can go to Bukoli, you find a school, but this school, a secondary school, take for example, Sigulu Secondary School, a well-built school, but they are not teachers. The teachers will say, I'm going to die in the waters. Some teachers will pass through Kenya before they come to the islands, and they will ask them, where is your Kitambulisho, the Kenyans call it Kitambulisho, the ID card. They didn't have. So people say it is very expensive to go to the islands. So one of the issues is that the government had forgotten these islands for quite a long time, and that is why when I came here, some of them called me Kenyans. I'm told that even the other time when SEC was meeting to verify these positions we have today, I'm told His Excellency was saying that where is the other Kenyan? Simply because I can speak the Kenyan languages, I can also speak Ugandan languages. But the government, those governments had automatically forgotten all about this island. The islands had a lot of fish at the time. So what the government will do, government officials to go and grab fish from the people. But when you go at the infrastructure, it is this government that has done something very important. I can only recall that when I was young, and I still remember even the date, 6th of January 1979, I saw Amin when I was still very young. Amin landed in Sigulu. But he did not even tell us that he was coming. I think that time there was a serious war. And with him, what he came to tell us was that I'm going to beat Nyerere. I'm going to discipline him. Then he left, and there's nothing automatically that was done. We would die of sleeping sickness, that was a rampant thing there. We would die if people did not have health centers. But by 86, up to now, we must appreciate that there's something done. But still, it is little. As one person will say, we still need more.
Yes.
You ask these ministers in Uganda here, how many have gone to the islands? When they go, they reach Namain. Even the planning have been quarreling and still have a quarrel. That even when Minister of Education was giving out the city schools, with them when they see Namaingo district, they gave 2 to the mainland, leaving Lolo where there is no school. And the major concern, Lolo has 7 primary schools.
But no secondary school.
So when somebody...
So where do these kids all go when they are done with
They graduate in P6, P7, and after that one they get married. I brought that issue before Parliament here. The minister has not answered it. I said, why do you take primary schools? People are there, 300, 700 per school. Then after that one they graduate and they get married. You cannot blame them. They cannot come, they cannot go anywhere.
Because of accessibility.
Because of accessibility. So it is a problem. But I think the government must make sure that a secondary school is constructed in a Lolwe, and I've again written once again to the Speaker and to the Minister concerned that please, come next financial year, we must have a secondary school.
Thank you, Honorable, for giving us your time and also explaining to Ugandans at large, because now when you're a chairman of East African Community Committee here in Parliament, that means you're heading the whole country and almost East Africa. But I would like to give you an opportunity to tell us if there's anything you'd like to tell your voters and also Ugandans at large.
Thank you very much. To my voters, what I would say is that there is some light at the end of the tunnel. The Bukoli Island we used to see, the Bukoli Islands we used to see will not be the Bukoli Islands we are seeing today. We must appreciate what the government is doing. You must appreciate what your member of parliament is doing, and also I must appreciate what you are doing, because whenever people come, you have so many questions to them, you have so many challenges. But with these challenges, as I've said, we cannot have a society without challenges. Those challenges will be tackled one by one, and I think our issues will be handled properly so that we enjoy Uganda, we enjoy the democracy, we enjoy the peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable. And on that note, would like to thank you for watching UBC Inspiring Uganda. Make sure that you tune on again next time for another program of Ask Your MP right here on UBC TV. My name is Oluka Jamal.